Was on extracurricular activities. For me, it's building things or playing video games. For Amanda, it's watching Game of Thrones. For Lana, it's an earthquake dude named Dutch. For my dad, it's trying to get free money out of people. It's not his only extracurricular activity. They like watching him and my stepmom Diane. They like sitting down and watching Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune and shit like that. Although they also like watching The Orville, which is pretty cool. However, when it comes to the things that I like, they're not okay. I like the idea of making the world a better place. The problem is that I don't have the resources or the family help. Lana, while I was up there, she was pissed off because something to do with my family should be helping me. I know. My family doesn't take any time to understand me. They don't care. See, my dad up there, whenever I wanted to talk about my extracurricular activities, things that I like, I'd get snapped at. Basically told that I'm stupid. Not literally told that I'm stupid, just snapped at and given a shitty fucking tone. Now, my dad is allowed to have his extracurricular activities. It's fine for him. It's fine for him to enjoy Jeopardy. I don't down on him for enjoying Jeopardy, but it's not what I'm into. He wanted to be an asshole to me because I wasn't into that. Now, I understand a lot of people with autism, they really go off on something they're interested in a little bit too much. Get to talking about it just a little bit too much. The problem is, Amanda's never been homeless. Lana has never been homeless. She said that she was living in her car for about 2 weeks once. That's not the same. If you're living in your car for 2 weeks, yeah, it is basically homeless. But it's not the same thing, because if you're able to get out of it in 2 weeks, you have help. Otherwise, you wouldn't have ended up homeless to begin with. And you can't get out of it in 2 weeks. You just can't. It takes longer than 2 weeks to come up with the money to become unhomeless. My extracurricular activities. Video games. Not okay. Lana's not okay with it. Amanda's not okay with it. Ken and Leah aren't okay with it. Except Ken, before I left there, was stuck in his phone playing Final Fantasy on his telephone. Now, for me, being stuck in public, basically, at all points in time, it sucks. I'm in Wyoming, so if marijuana helps me with social situations, but not other situations, then why don't I smoke marijuana? Well, for starters, it's a felony here to even have it or possess it. But that's not all. There are no dispensaries here as a result of it. And I don't have the money to be wasting on marijuana. When I tried to explain to Lana what was going on, she did what she usually does. She asserted her position of power. It's her house. And I'm stuck there. I got nowhere else to go. So basically, it's listen to her talk about Dutch the whole time. And Amanda, she didn't watch Game of Thrones all day, every day. Just like I didn't play video games all day, every day. Matter of fact, the video game that I downloaded while I was there, I was incorrect about. I was able to download Rome Total War. Much smaller download, although it's still huge. I downloaded Samurai Total War at Miss Jerry's house the night that I left. Now, Miss Jerry was wondering why I wasn't working on this big old box that was supposed to have a bunch of information on it that Lana and Amanda had collected. The problem with that big old box is it didn't have all of the parts to do it. Miss Jerry said that she had the part to make it work, but she wasn't willing to look for it, had no idea where it was at. She told me that when I got to her place, and then the whole time that I was there, she was on her telephone talking to her boyfriend. Not talking, but typing. And then from time to time, she would stop typing to get on my case about not working on what it is that she wanted me to work on with that box. Miss Jerry, I don't have all the parts. Are you that out of it in your head? You said you have the part, but you don't know where it's at, and you're not going to look for it. So what the fuck am I supposed to do with that machine? Meanwhile, it's not okay for me to play video games. And I still have people who harass me and threaten me and stalk me, and a few people who keep on calling me a narcissist. If they would leave this alone in Colorado, drop all the charges and promise me they're going to leave me the fuck alone, that still wouldn't be enough, because Alicia needs to get on the stand and tell the truth. I have people calling me a stalker, a rapist, and a child molester from the whole world over. I've been assaulted repeatedly for these things that I did not do. So that's the point. You use the term mentally ill loosely to be as cruel as possible. I never wanted to be diagnosed with Asperger's. Never. Now, back when I was supposed to be diagnosed, it was Asperger's. Now it's mild autism. The problem with people who have never been homeless is that they have their own ideas in their head about how it is. And lots of homeless people even have fucked up ideas about how it is. They're like, oh no, I'm different than all of these people. I'm better than all of these other people because I'm doing something different than the rest of these homeless people. Really? For every homeless person I know out there flying a sign, I know 10 homeless people with jobs, thinking that if they bust their ass hard enough, they're going to get out. People should keep their word. Now me, I understand when there's situations that prevent people from keeping their word. There's been a great many occasions since Natalie died that I wasn't able to keep mine. Matter of fact, after I left Virginia, when I left Virginia, I offered to leave and never talk to her again. And I broke that word. But I broke that word for a reason. It's because I was being assaulted for shit that I didn't do. I was being assaulted for stalking someone who I didn't stalk. I was being assaulted for threatening her and her family. No, they felt threatened. There is a big fucking difference. I didn't threaten to harm anyone in her family. Not until my grandmother's funeral. And it was just her dad. After that, I didn't threaten anybody in their family except to take them to court. And I was prevented from doing that by the police, who I was also trying to take to court. And the judge in Natalie's case. I was trying to take him to court too. The problem is they kept all of my money wrapped up in traveling from one place to another. Going back to places that I'm victimized. Fuck that. And a lot of people, they didn't keep their word, and then they downed on me because I called them on it. Now that's a big issue with me, because I'm not calling them on it to be an asshole. Tabby wasn't able to do what it is that I needed, and I'm fine with that. She didn't give me any promises. Graham did, though. And Graham did not keep his word. Now, instead of making a statement about why he couldn't keep his word, he got butthurt. Like I was saying he was a terrible person for it. And Tabby, because this is her boyfriend, come to his rescue. Is she a bad person for that? No, I come to expect it. Out of everyone, your boyfriend is important. You want to stick up for him when you feel that he's being attacked. But he wasn't being attacked. And I had to go and piss them off to get them to type the things that really they could have written down to begin with. Like, they didn't keep their word because they didn't have the money. Now that right there is important. If you can't keep your word because you don't have the money, I understand that. But I'm going to tell the truth. And I'm going to say that the reason that you weren't able to keep your word is because you didn't have the money. But I don't know that unless you contact me and let me know that. If I have to be an asshole to get you to do that, so be it. So Amanda did not admit to selling marijuana or to her mother selling marijuana. She did admit to distribution. I should have been allowed an honest day in court. I never should have had to go to Montana. I already knew from my history with Miss Lana how she is. I went up to Montana because between me and Miss Jerry, my history with Miss Jerry is a lot more colorful. It's a lot brighter, it's a lot more positive. However, that thing in Virginia with them, it was a fucked up situation. And I got rid of all of them because Miss Jerry blocked me. See, there's a reason for that. It's because although I love Miss Jerry, I'm not going to deal with that bullshit. I needed a positive environment. And believe it or not, Lana's place was a very positive environment. Except first thing in the morning when Lana woke up in a shitty mood. And any time that I didn't get involved in what her special interests are. Whenever I tried to explain what was going on with my case, I got cut off. I got snapped at. So I got quiet, like I did at my dad's. Now Lana, unlike my dad, Lana's intelligent. She can tell things that people are feeling emotionally. When I got quiet, she knew that there was a problem. And she'd ask me what the problem was. Because Lana does genuinely care. However, she's also genuinely selfish. So, I can't tell Lana that the issue that I have is her snapping at me, because then she gets defensive. And it's okay for her to get defensive, it's just not okay for me. Now, she didn't lose anything. She didn't lose her house from what was going on. She didn't lose the roof over her head. I still love Lana, and I love Amanda. But as far as extracurricular activities go, if Lana is allowed to go after that whole Dutch earthquake thing, And Amanda is allowed to watch Game of Thrones. Why is it not okay for me to play video games? Also, why would somebody assume that all I did was play video games? It's because they're not there with me. She wasn't there in that room. So instead of just assuming and judging me harshly and being a complete and total bitch about it, maybe she should ask and find out what's going on. Candace, when I turned over that stuff so that Miss Shelley would have access to my Facebook and be able to look at everything on there, the cops already had all that information. That was specifically for Miss Shelley to take a look for herself, but she didn't. And Candace, she got home that day, and I explained to her 5 or 6 times that the things that she wants me to do, the one day that I had that internet access, I'm not able to do because I am, as a gesture of good faith, am letting Miss Shelley have access to my emails and my Facebook without interruption. And Candace said later on, well, you gave me no indication that you did anything except watch YouTube videos. With all due respect, those YouTube videos have to do with Natalie and her death, her state of mind, and one of the people that I thought possibly had been the one that killed her, Tim Beeson. Now, it turned out that Tim Beeson didn't kill her. But that's not the point. The point is that while I was up there in Montana, I did a lot of other things other than just play video games. I also had to try to function through a panic attack. You guys want me to function at 100% without the resources to function at 100%, and without the mental capacity to function at 100%. Even if I'm only functioning at 10%, at least I'm doing something. At least I'm making progress. But if you're not there to see it, it didn't happen, right?